Welcome to my channel. Today I want to share my labor and delivery story as well as how my pregnancy went. While I talk about that, I'm going to be putting on this like peel off clay mask. It smells like lemons. It smells pretty good. So my pregnancy was actually really easy. I didn't really get sick like at all. I had it pretty easy. I got really nauseous a lot, but I never like threw up. I threw up maybe 5 times out of the whole 9 months I was pregnant. So at the beginning of my pregnancy, when I was like 3 or 4 months, I was stressing out a lot, and one day after work, my stomach was like really hurting me. Like there was a pain on the inside of my stomach that was really hurting. And so I was telling my boyfriend, and he was like, well, let's go to the hospital. And I was like, no, because I don't think it's that bad. I think I just need a rest, just calm down and rest. Well, he told his mom, and his mom was like, let's go to the hospital. And I was like, okay, fine. So we get in the car, we go, and then they're taking blood, they're doing all this crap, and then the doctor comes back and tells me that I have a subchorionic hemorrhage. Basically, it's like a small, it was nothing big. We just had to keep my eye on it. I couldn't really be stressed out. I think the only thing that was scary about that was that it was hurting. It was hurting, and it was my first pregnancy. I was only 17. He's clapping, not anymore. But it was the fear of losing the baby, and my mom, she lost her baby. My grandma lost her baby. My tia lost her baby, and so that was like my one fear, was losing my baby. I didn't want that to happen. So I'm using this stupid brush, but I don't like the way it's getting on my face, so I'm just going to use my fingers. I had to get induced, so I went in on Monday night around 6 p.m. and they didn't start hooking up the medicine and stuff like that until like that following morning at like 5 in the morning. And I didn't really get any contractions because I was like getting them, because you could tell on the monitor, but I didn't feel any of them. They kept asking me like over and over again, like, did you feel that? Did you feel that? And I was like, no, I don't feel it. And then they were like telling me maybe she's one of those rare people that don't really like get the contraction but don't really feel it. And then like maybe 30 minutes to an hour in, I felt those contractions. Yes, I did. I took it for as long as I could, and then I already planned on having the epidural. When I was getting the epidural, they made everybody leave the room. So that was kind of like really scary, because I really wanted Chris to be in there, but you're not allowed to. You can only have the nurse and the guy who does it. And it was like really weird. He was like, okay, so they made me like hunch over, and I had to basically like touch my toes, and he stuck the needle on my back, and it didn't really hurt. It felt like a small pinch, but I don't remember hurting that bad. And it had like made my right leg like twitch, and he was like, which leg was that? And I was like, my right leg. He was like, that means that the medicine is gonna go to that side first. And I was like, okay. So after the epidural, I was feeling so good. I didn't have no pain, no nothing. It was like no care in the world. And I could see all the contractions happening on the monitor, and I was like, I don't feel that. Nope. Then a couple hours went by. I wasn't dilating at all. And so a nurse had to keep coming in and checking on me, and had to keep like stretching me. And my doctor was like, if she's not at 9 centimeters by 10 o'clock, then we're doing a C-section. And I was like, I'm not doing a C-section. So after all that, I had to wait and wait and wait so I could keep dilating, but I wasn't dilating at all. So then my doctor came in and was like, well, I have to pop your water. And I was like, okay, sure. Well, she goes in and she like, it hurt. She stuck something up there and it hurt so bad. I just had to keep breathing and breathing, and I cried because that hurt so freaking much. And after a while, I sat there and I kept, trying to dilate, but nothing, he was not coming down, nothing was happening. And so the nurse ended up coming in and stretching me, and she got me to a 9. She did. Yes. She got me to a 9, and my doctor was like, okay, well then, let's try pushing. It's like, okay. I pushed, and he was not coming down. It was like if nothing was happening. The more I counted down to 10, the more I wanted to give up. It was so freaking tiring. Like, I really did not think it was gonna be that tiring, but my God, it was like really tiring. After we've been pushing, I was already getting frustrated. I wanted to cry. I was so mad. And then my doctor was like, we're gonna have to have a C-section. And I was like, I just stopped. I was like, I really don't want to have a C-section. And my cousin was like, it's up to you. Do you want to keep trying? Do you want to keep pushing? Or do you want to have the C-section? And I was like, I want to keep trying. I want to keep pushing. They're like, okay. So I would push and his head would come down. But the second I stopped pushing, it would go right back up. So I got mad. And the doctor kept telling me, like, we're gonna have to have a C-section. So I was like, you know what, let's have the C-section. I'm already tired, I'm fed up, let's just have the C-section. So they get me ready, they put the cap on me, they put a cap on Chris and this whole gown on Chris, and he has these little things to put over his shoes and all that. And then they start strolling us, like rolling us to where they're gonna have the whole operation and stuff like that. And they kept like pinching me, and they were pinching me, and they were like, can you feel that, or do you feel pressure? Can you feel me pinching you, or do you feel pressure? And I was like, I can feel you pinching me. And right before that, I had told them, I was like, the epidural, I could start feeling my legs, it's going away. And so they had to give me like give me more. And so when I was already in there, I was like, I was already feeling my legs. So they're giving me more and more medicine to numb my whole body this time. And they were asking me, like, can you feel that? Can you feel that? And I was like, yes, I can feel that. It's not pressure. I can feel you pinching me. And then finally, I got fed up with it. I was like, you know what? No, I can't feel that. All I feel is pressure. Just go. So they start cutting, and I can't feel them cutting, but I can feel when they put the tractors in and stretch my stomach out. And it was like a tug, like I could feel them tugging me back and forth, and it just the pleasure, like the feeling of it was very unpleasant. And so like I'm crying because I could feel it, I could feel all of it, and I can kind of feel pain. Like I don't really know where the pain was, but I could feel the pain. I guess like my skin stretching, I could feel that. And Chris was holding my hand, and then Adrian came out. And when Adrian came out, Chris was like, babe, can I go? I was like, go to her son. And they didn't, I was upset because they didn't let him cut the umbilical cord. But I guess because with the C-section, you're not allowed to. And so Chris was over there with Adrian, and they still having to like put me back together and stuff. And so the nurse had to hold my hand, and I was like squeezing really hard because it was hurting me. And then finally, they gave me Adrian. They placed him on my chest, and I got to like hold him, but I couldn't really, I had like no feeling in my arms, so I was like slowly, like my arms were like going down, so I had to keep like trying to hug him so he wouldn't fall. Then after that, it took from Monday night to Saturday morning for me to actually leave and go home. I was supposed to leave Friday, but my iron was really low, so they had to keep pumping iron into me, and man, that tasted nasty. It tasted like pennies. I think the hardest part of the C-section was a healing process, because I wasn't only healing from a C-section, I was healing from trying to push them out naturally. And when they do a C-section, they're cutting into your muscles that you cry with, that you laugh, that you sneeze, that you cough. So I couldn't do any of that, and I really wanted to cry because of how bad it hurt. But the more I would cry, the more it would hurt. So I just had to like, don't cry, you're okay, you're good. Well, every time I had to get up and go pee, oh my god, there was one time where I got up to go pee and I cried, and the more I cried, it hurt, so I cried even more, and it was just so freaking terrible. And it was so hard because, like, at the hospital you have the little railing to help you get up out of bed, but at home, who has that? I had to roll out of bed for when he cried or when he needed a diaper change, because Chris had to work. So I rolled out of bed to the floor. It was so terrible, but I had medicine. I had medication to help me with, you know, not hurting so bad, so.
Stone cold stone.
So in total, I was in labor for 36 hours, but I was in active labor for 18 hours. He was born at 10:07 a.m. and I was so relieved. I was so happy, and after that, I just could not keep my eyes off of him. He is so great. I am so blessed. So this is one of our very first videos. Just make sure to like and subscribe to keep updated with the Abreu family. I swear we will post more interesting videos once we get the hang of this. Say bye, baby. Say bye. Say bye. He's in a mood.